Okay. Today is December the 10th, 2016. Today, Richard is going to give us a presentation on the very important subject on what? The life cycle of stars. And we have two important guests. Dr. Sun are going to ask serious questions because he happens to be a professor in physics and leads astronomy related with physics. And hopefully he gave you some serious question. Now, floor belongs to you, Richard. Impress me. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm talking about the life cycle of the star. The beginning stage is nebula. It's basically where all like a hydrogen gas. It's spread out throughout the universe. And basically, after millions of years, the hydrogen starts clustering together due to gravity. And when it becomes strong enough, it forms the main sequence star, which is most of the lifetime of a star. And so it starts fusing hydrogen and helium, and then so on until iron. And then so if the star is very, like 10 times the size of our sun, it would become a supergiant and eventually become a supernova. And then like if it has less mass, it will become a neutron star. If it's greater mass, it will become a black hole. And if it's an average or small size star like our sun, it will become a red giant and then a white dwarf. And black dwarfs are theoretical because we can't prove their existence because we can't sense any energy.
That's it, Richard. Some more detailed presentation about, you can ask the audience too. Okay, so question time. Yes. Q&A time.
I think you described it mostly, the structure of the life cycle is correct. I have a few questions. So where does these nebulae come from?
Oh, it can be from a supernova remnant, like the Crab Nebula, which sort of a long time ago. But like after the supernova blast, there's a lot of material left, like all the elements required to make a new star.
I guess my question will be, when do you consider the universe start beginning to form? We didn't. Well, supernova is one of the stage you described there. So you are going back. You are saying nebula can be coming from supernova.
Yeah.
So basically, you're talking about the result going back here.
Right.
But you didn't tell him where these nebula come from. Where that nebula come from? Go ahead.
Well, you can't really prove when the universe starts.
Well, it has to have a start point, right?
That's your mind. That's
But
your
what's
theory.
the theory?
Theory?
Yeah.
What is the theory? What is the theory?
Like Big Bang.
Okay.
Yeah. Then
That's
talk
very
about the process. That's very good.
Well,
Briefly talk about the process.
it's just like before that, there's no time, no space until it blows up. So, and then the universe is created. There's like so much material released. So it all starts off like that. Basically, it can't just directly form into a supernova or anything. It has to become like a star before that.
What's the first chemical element produced by Big Bang?
Very good.
Good job. And then how all these elements, where did that come from?
Until like
basically the process.
the stars fuse all the way to iron, and the core becomes like 4 billion degrees.
You from number 1 to 26, you're going too fast. From number 1 to 26 iron, you're going too fast. Slow down and tell me the process. How hydrogen fusing into helium and how helium make lithium. A little more. It's pretty hard, but you should know.
Well, it's basically gravity and pressure. So when the pressure can't hold out in the core anymore, then it starts fusing a heavier element. So that's how hydrogen becomes helium, and then carbon, and then oxygen, etc. And then once it fuses to iron, it can't fuse any further. So then after that, it'll become a supernova. And then when it explodes, like, so much heat comes then all other elements.
Do you know there are two competitive forces causing all these behavior? What are the, do you know, happen to know what are those two competitive?
Gravity and pressure.
Okay.
That's the going down. How about going out?
He already mentioned.
You mentioned that. Good job. So there are two forces, right? There is equilibrium. Once the equilibrium collapses, what happens?
I mean, like, if it condenses, it can become like a neutron star, which is like very dense.
Tell us more about this process. How the red giant turn into white dwarf. Right?
It's kind of like a similar process, but the thing is, there's not enough mass in the red giant to like cause an explosion, because like this, for a supernova, it flings out, like the red giant flings out like a layer of the like the outer layer of the star, and comes back in, and there are like theories that it blows up. But for this one, there's not enough mass, so you can't accumulate enough to blow.
Can you explain a little more about different layers in that star?
Like at the core, it's the most dense layer.
What element was that?
Iron and nickel.
Good job.
And then
What are the numbers of iron and nickel?
20, 30,
Can you draw this thing in 3 layers and different iron, nickel? Go. The numbers and why is that? And what other? That way, your team will like you, and your team will win in your school competition. Silicon, yeah, good. What else are the outer layers? What are the ones chemical element on the outer layers? And what's that number?
like one.
What is nickel's number? Iron is 26. This is very important threshold.
Nickel's 28.
Good job, write it down.
I wrote it.
Oh, good. Handwriting. Your handwriting is even worse than mine. Even worse than mine. How that happens? Good job. Why the inside have heavier element and outside have lighter element? Why is that? One word.
Gravity.
Good job. And I'm still waiting for your explanation of how come here to here. What happened? We learned that together. Knowledge retention. We talk about speed, the gravity of speed. How fast or how slow they collapse.
Like really fast in a
How
thousandth
fast?
of a second.
Units.
Yeah.
Unit.
How big? How the length? You have this time, the length.
With
From what to what?
thousands of kilometers into like a couple of kilometers.
Good job, good job, good job, good job. So what is different between the white dwarf and black hole? Or black dwarf? White dwarf and black.
White dwarfs exist there, but black dwarfs are not. There can't be proven to exist, basically. So black dwarfs are theoretical, but white dwarfs are real.
That's a Dr. Sun's problem. That's Dr. Sun's lecture. What's the difference between the reliable scientific theory and a myth? That's Dr. Sun's. How can he trust these theories? How can my students trust the theories? He basically thinks all these are stories told by unreliable adults to fool them. He don't trust these things. How can you, as a scientist, convince my students these theories are even reliable? For example, black hole theories. You never seen it. You never touch it. It's impossible for you to see the black dwarf. It's impossible for you to see the white dwarf. You can measure a little bit maybe here, but not here. How can my student trust you?
Okay. So it's always science is a study of a natural behavior, right? So to describe science, I think from religion, is science can use a series of mathematical formula to derive some of the results. Probably you can see some of the and directly prove some of the results. It's only mathematically right, and probably at the moment we don't have a direct experimental proof. That's considered science. And religion just is based on just you believe it. There's no proof. And it's possible you can never find a proof. That's religion. It's just based on you believe it. So the theory of the black hole is predicted just based on mathematical calculation, because when your gravitational force is big enough, you will reach this critical point. At this critical point, because it's called a black hole, because even light cannot be emitted from that. So theoretically, you cannot directly see any light emitted from that. But there's a whole bunch of more recent theories saying, well, the gravitational effect can be detected, even if you cannot see it. So astronauts have been measuring. So if you can detect the gravitational force from that, so now there are direct evidence. You will see some visible stars which are rotating around these black holes. So scientists conclude, without a big mass at the center of these stars, then these stars will leave. But now you measure like the orbitals of these visible stars. So scientifically, you can draw the conclusion there must be something at the middle of this orbital. But you cannot see it. And it fits the theory of saying there will be a huge mass at the center. So that's the indirect proof. And also there are other theories saying even black hole, sometimes it can emit energy. Stephen Hawking predicted that. Okay, so there's also a boundary. That's where that movie, Interstellar, is based on. So the scientists use computer simulation, saying in some critical conditions, you will see the boundary of the black hole. So that may be not a direct measurement, but there are indirect evidence showing the existence of a big mass. Okay, the difference between black hole and the less mass is because there's a competition. When you have gravitational force, try to drag everything together, the temperature in the middle will increase during this process. And with increased temperature, the pressure will also increase. So you have two competitive interactions. One want to shrink it down, one want to explode. Okay? So depend on how much mass you are accumulating. If the mass is big enough, the gravitational is big enough, it will form whatever it's called a black hole. Nothing can escape. But if the gravitational is not enough, then with temperature increase, at some stage you will see a blow up. Blow up. That's you form other structures. That's my understanding. Probably because I'm not a real expert. That's just my understanding. But you can see scientifically, scientific proof has to be based on a theory which can be mathematically, it will be correct. And it is a rigid mass. It can predict a whole bunch of, like quantum theory. You say quantum theory basically says there's a principles on uncertainty. Then basically you are saying I cannot predict. It's wrong. These principles of uncertainty actually can be mathematically derived by whatever equation it is, and that equation can give you certain definite answer for the problem. Okay? So that's maths. That's not religion.
Not
So
even
that's why
realism. We're talking about myth and story. Richard, so that's why, let me try to summarize it. We're talking about theory. It's not just another story or myth. That story can change from one culture to another, but this one has to be tested. There's the predictability. There is why we trust theory more. Why Newton studied physics, even though they changed the theory so many times. Still, they can make predictions, and you can test these predictions. If all these predictions are wrong, you overthrew the theory. But until you can overthrow this theory, that's the only thing you have. That's the only. It's not perfect, but you don't have anything else.
The reality.
But it's better than this.
Right.
That's why I don't want you to say, hey, this is just another story.
That's a theory. Okay.
And these adults used to fool us. No, they work so hard trying to say this is reliable. But if you don't trust it, trying to prove that they are wrong, and then you will make a breakthrough. Make sense? Make sense? Okay. Ask them some questions. Ask us some questions.
Yeah, if you
We give you a hard time, you give us some hard time. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No questions.
Richard, keep on thinking.
Keep on thinking. Give us some hard questions.
So how what from your reading, tell me how these nuclear reaction happens actually.
What he's talking about is fusion and fission, right?
Right. What is the fusion
Nuclear
reaction?
fusion and nuclear fission. Tell us these two reactions and how do they useful in forming this star in the life cycle of the star, or all from these two processes. Go ahead. So that will force him to study more about nuclear fusion and nuclear fission.
And one is the nuclear reaction, the other one is for
No, both.
Both two processes. 一个是爆炸，另外是光子。
一个是核聚变，一个核裂变的。
同学你好，你好好学吧。
Richard, so
Go ahead.
just tell me whatever you already know. We'll see. I'm not a nuclear physicist. So. Richard, what is atomic bomb? Those are the two.
So nuclear fusion is the process, Richard, hydrogen make helium. How's the process? You need to tell us more. And that's the atomic bomb structure. It's this destructive force, creative force. Tell us some more. You guys supposed to study already the theory of energy, because this city is an energy town. Okay, all the private school and public school, the good one, study this. Recall, or else that is something he had to study over the break. Christmas gift, Mr. Haas Christmas gift. I'm pretty sure we studied something like this during the summer.
Just tell us a little bit.
I don't know anything.
Okay, then that's good. So that's why during the Christmas season, you should study nuclear fusion